In our last session we did our separation for this football design, and I wanted to come back and take a quick look at how we want to separate our whites when we're dealing with overprinting. That's why I always keep a copy of the original back here on the page, because I'm going to do my white separation from here. To do that, the reason being is I'm going to do that because when you're doing with overprinting, you've got white behind the objects, and we put that there on purpose so that the colors wouldn't come through over the overprinting. Well, when you do that, the white is not separated correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this graphic here to create a graphic from which I can very quickly separate my white plate if I want to, or my white base. I'm going to go to my SimpleSep 3 here, and I'm going to go to color management and go create a selection palette here. Now I can see I've got all these different colors here that aren't the white, but I'll go ahead and take all of these colors here, and I'm just going to go ahead and replace them. And I'm going to go ahead and not deal with preserve tints, and I'll go to replace, and I'll go to my palettes, and I'll just take any Pantone color. I'll go with this yellow here, and I'll select OK. Now it's just going to streamline the separation process for getting my white out of the design. Now the only thing that wasn't replaced was my blacks, and that's because I did my fill only, but that's not going to be important. I'll get that black plate anyway. The next thing I want to do is go to separations, and I'm going to go to halftones, and I don't think we're going to have any halftones in our white plate, but we'll go ahead and separate this anyway, just so that we can get our white out of here, and we could also get our white base with a choke if we want it. Now what I'm doing, I'm just kind of tricking this. I really don't want all these separations. I just want the white. I could take this black out if I wanted to too, and then I just get 2 pages of separations. I'm going to generate an underbase with a 1-point choke, and then I'm just going to go ahead, come down here and click on generate separations and select OK and select OK. Now here I'm going to get my spot color white and my white base, and the other 2 colors I'll just delete, but there I would have the correct white color separation. We saw that when we were dealing with the overprints, as I said, because we have the objects, all the overprinting objects, we set up on top of a white object behind them so that we get a pure white behind the overprinting color so that it's correct. Well, when you do a separation with overprints on top of white, the white is not separated out, so those will show up as a white color in those separation plates, and we don't want that. We want to be aware of that, and I showed that back in the first session and also in the second session relating to working with the SimpleSep Overprint plugin. This will take just a minute here to process. Now once that's finished, I will have my perfect white base, as you can see here. Now there's no more black in the football, so that would all be pure white. We don't have any black in the effects. There is some black around the outlines here, where you see the white coming through, and of course there are the black outlines around the text. Now I can verify this simply by going ahead and selecting this, and I can just copy this. I can go back here to page 1, take a look at that. You know that we didn't knock any of our black out there, and we did that on purpose because we wanted to have that black set up, and we can go ahead and paste in, and we can see that wherever we've got the black, I'll change this to a red. There's just ever such a slight choke around everything that's got black. So that would be our choked underbase. I'll go ahead and delete that. And here we've got our underbase. Here we got our Pantone hexachrome black. We're not going to need this. This was just generated as extra. We'll go ahead and delete this page. And here we have our second white, or our Pantone trans white, separated correctly. And we can copy this, and we can go to the design that we had separated, and this is our overprint 2. What color was this? This was the Pantone 435. That's the color I was working with previously. I was copying that in a different place. Now here we can go ahead and paste this white in to verify it. Go ahead and right click, change everything to white, and we can see that is indeed our accurate second white, or white color separation. So I just wanted to show you how to work with creating your underbase and dealing with your white when you're dealing with the overprinting. You want to take a little bit of a different approach because of some of the things that happen with overprinting in the separation process, but that's why we make that backup image. We convert that, we can change the colors, we can trick it. Don't want to trick the black because we don't want our underbase under our black. We always want to have our black not to have an underbase under it. So we basically change all of our colors to one color, save our white and our black, and then we could just go ahead and generate a correct underbase and white color separation for our separations when we're dealing with the output from the SimpleSep Overprint. So we'll go ahead and wrap here, and we'll continue in our next session.